Morning students. So today we are going to discuss about the greenhouse effect and global warming. So what is greenhouse effect? Our earth is actually becoming hotter day by day, and the reason for that is greenhouse effect. So its definition is it is the process of warming of planet's surface and its lower atmosphere by absorption of infrared radiations of long wavelength emitted out from the surface of the planet. So first let me show you what is the greenhouse, how it works, then I will tell you what is the greenhouse effect. So here this is the picture of a typical greenhouse. So its walls are generally made of glass. So the inside temperature of the greenhouse is always greater than the outside temperature. If outside temperature is 20 degree C, then the inside temperature will be 25 degree C. How? 25 degree C. So I'll tell you how. Actually, the sun rays, the shorter wavelength light, they can easily penetrate these glass walls. Okay, but the longer wavelength light they cannot penetrate the glass walls. So the when the shorter wavelength light they will come inside. So this shorter wavelength light they will first absorb by these plants inside this greenhouse. But this inside these plants they will absorb the shorter wavelength light. Okay, shorter wavelength, they absorb shorter wavelength light but they emit longer wavelength lights. Okay, but the longer wavelength light they cannot penetrate the glass walls. Okay, so they cannot penetrate me means they will circulate or they will remain forever in the inside the greenhouse, and since they will remain inside, they will increase the inside temperature of this greenhouse. So in this way greenhouse effect greenhouse works. So our earth is actually becoming like this greenhouse day by day. Okay, so I'll tell you how. Now, our solar radiations coming from the sun have high energy radiations such as gamma rays, X-ray. So solar radiations has two types. There are two types of solar radiation. One is high energy radiation such as gamma rays, X-ray, UV rays, and there are low energy radiations also like visible light, infrared radiations of sort visible light and infrared radiations. Okay, now most of this type of rays actually they are actually reflected back from our earth's surface. So there are actually ozone layer, they actually absorb or they reflected back most of the rays. So these gamma rays, X-ray, UV rays, they absorbed by the ozone layer. Okay, surrounding the earth, while infrared radiation of long wavelength and radio waves are reflected back into the space by the uppermost layer of earth's surface. So this that means gamma rays, X-ray, UV rays, they are absorbed by the ozone layer, so they cannot reach our earth's surface. And infrared radiations of long wavelength and the radio waves they reflected back. Okay, by the earth's surface and polar ice caps. But some of the shorter wavelength light they can reach our earth's surface, and they are the main problem. The solar radiation which travel through the atmosphere of earth are absorbed by the clouds, earth's surface, and sea water, due to which earth's surface gets heat up. Okay, so all this type of radiation they are either absorbed or reflected back. Only shorter wavelength of light they can penetrate our earth surface. Okay, earth atmosphere, and they can reach our earth surface. So when they reaches our earth surface, they absorbed by this radiations of light, they absorbed by sea water, absorbed by the sea or the plants. Okay, but when they absorb this shorter wavelength light, but they emit only actually longer wavelength light. Okay, but this longer wavelength light they cannot penetrate our earth atmosphere. Okay, like the greenhouse, the only shorter wavelength light can only penetrate our earth atmosphere. So when the sea absorb this light, they penetrate longer wavelength light, and then this longer wavelength light they cannot penetrate our earth atmosphere. Okay, so they remain inside our earth. Okay, but what happens, the clouds and gases prevent long wavelength infrared radiations from escaping into space and keep earth's surface warm. Okay, so this is the picture so most of the light they reflected back. Okay, some some lights, some kind of solar radiance they are either absorbed or reflected by the clouds also. The only shorter wavelength light they reaches our earth surface. Then see all the, so earth surface gets heated up by this hotter wavelength light. So but they absorb this hotter wavelength light but emit longer wavelength light. So this longer wavelength light they cannot penetrate our earth atmosphere. Okay, so they remain forever in our earth's atmosphere. Then what happens, these gases which are good absorber of longer wavelength infrared radiations are called greenhouse gases. Okay, greenhouse gases are example of gases are carbon dioxide, water vapors, methane, CFC, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, so these greenhouse gases they actually absorb most of the longer wavelength light. Okay, so they absorb this radiation means, so they increase our earth temperature. Okay, actually we need we need the gases but in the small amount. Nowadays the greenhouse gases, the amount of greenhouse gases are so much, they are heating up our earth surface in a very large manner. So there is need of greenhouse gas. So if naturally occurring greenhouse gases they increase our earth temperature on an average 15.5 degrees C. So you can, the 15.5 degrees C temperature is very good for humans. But if there was no greenhouse gas, then the earth temperature would be minus 18 degrees C, which is not good for humans. But nowadays what is happening, if in this there are so much amount of greenhouse gases, it is predicted that the earth temperature will be rises to 64 degrees C. That means, can you live in the 64 degrees C? In the 40 degrees C we cannot live properly. Okay, we need AC and so on. So in 64 degrees C, humans cannot survive in this high temperature. Humans can survive, but it will be difficult, very difficult. So the future prediction is that in the recent decade, it is observed that the effective temperature of Earth's surface has risen by 0.74 plus minus 0.818 degrees C. So nearly 1 degree C in per decade means per 10 years. In last 15 years, in per 10 years, the temperature increases from 1 degree C to 0.5 degree C. Okay, but from since 90s, but since 1970s, in per decade the temperature rises how much, not 1 degree C but 2.5 degree C per 10 years. So how much temperature increases you can imagine. But after 2000 the temperature increases much more. Okay, so after 2050 it is nearly 3 degrees C per decade. Per decade means per 10 years in temperature increases nearly equals to 3 degrees C, above 2.5 degrees C. Okay, so if in this rate, it is expected that by end of the century the earth's average temperature will be rise up to 64 degrees C, which is not good. The reason for this increase in the proportion of the greenhouse gases present in the earth atmosphere. Okay, so the main reason is the greenhouse gases, and how these gases are generated due to the human interventions. Okay, so the main three reasons responsible for the increase of carbon dioxide are: the first is the burning of fuels, deforestation, transportation, and industrial production. Okay, so you can imagine before 100 years there are so much, very few vehicles in the roads. Okay, nowadays so much vehicles are in the road and they pollute our atmosphere. They emit carbon dioxide, CFC, all kinds of greenhouse gases. Okay, due to that the greenhouse gases are increasing and they increase our earth's temperature. And burning of fuels. Okay, so for electricity we are burning so much fuels, and there are so much factories. Okay, so these factories they produce tons of carbon dioxide per year for ton. The second point is that increase of population so human beings, so our now our earth our earth's population is nearly 6 to 7 billion. Okay, 6 billion people means 600 crores people are living in the earth. So you know that when we during the respiration we emit the carbon dioxide. So all the human beings they actually emit how much carbon dioxide? 32 gigatons. 32 giga means 10 to the power 9. So 32 into 10 to the power 9 tons they emit per year. Okay, so this much. So in 2050 the earth population will be nearly 9 billion. So so 9 billion people will emit much more carbon dioxide, then the earth temperature will increase more. The third point is imbalance of the carbon dioxide cycle. Now you know that the green plants and some bacteria algae they actually absorb carbon dioxide, but they are in very few numbers. Okay, nowadays the green plants their number are decreasing in a rapid way. So the carbon dioxide they are not absorbed as they are creating. So carbon dioxide they are actually creating, they're generating in the high numbers in terms of, but they cannot absorb so easily, because since they're the algae bacteria and the green plants are the number of them are very small. The increase in the concentration of carbon dioxide due to the above human activities is responsible for 60% increase in greenhouse gases. So that means the humans are mainly responsible for the increase in greenhouse gases. Okay, and there are some more reasons also. The reasons are the rice cultivation by humans, animals husbandry, natural gas exploitation, burning of biomass in clearing the forest, and leakage in natural gas pipelines has doubled the concentration of methane is another kind of greenhouse gas. Okay, another greenhouse gas. So leakage in the natural gas pipes has doubled the concentration of methane, which is also responsible for the increase in greenhouse effect. Okay, now your fridge, you have I think I hope you are in your home you have a refrigerator. So your refrigerator actually emits the most poisonous greenhouse gas, that is the chlorofluorocarbon, CFC. Your refrigerator emits CFC, chlorofluorocarbons. Okay, so due to the human activities our earth is actually becoming hotter day by day. So the increase in the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere enhances the greenhouse effect, and this causes the global warming. So due to this greenhouse effect our earth temperature increases, and this increase in earth temperature is called the global warming. So we'll learn about the global warming in the next class. So thank you.